There is a global refugee crisis and people are turning their backs. We're on a mission to change that. My name is Kaz.
And I'm Ben, and we're the co-founders of the Ration Challenge.
It was 4 years ago we were visiting Mela refugee camp on the Thai-Burmese border. And it was there that we met Tan. He was a young father and I just remember him being so warm and friendly and kind-hearted. And he had this incredible smile. He welcomed us into his home and we sat on the ground and asked him about his story. Tan was just 10 years old when he fled Burma after watching his entire village and his home be burnt to the ground by the Burmese army. He fled on foot and had a long journey to Mela refugee camp. And he'd been there ever since, for 21 years. And he sat there with us and he told us about growing up in a refugee camp and about becoming a father. And then he showed us his food rations.
All of the food that Tan and his entire family had to live on for a whole month took up this tiny space on the floor. It was really shocking to see that and felt so unjust and was such a contrast to our life back in Australia. Even though we'd seen the rations Tan was eating and we'd heard his story, we had no idea what it really felt like to live on those rations. So we decided to try it and we lived on refugee rations for a week. We roped in 100 people to join us in the challenge. We got our friends and family to sponsor us and raise money to support refugees like Tan. So it was then in a refugee camp on the Thai-Burma border that the Ration Challenge was born.
I'll never forget that first year, calling in favours from friends and family, packing food ration boxes long into the night, and we really didn't know if this was going to work or if anyone was going to want to do it. But then Ration Challenge Week came around, we were just blown away. Together we raised more than $60,000, which is enough to provide food rations for more than 270 refugees, and it just showed how passionate people were about this issue and how much they wanted to do something about it.
Furious return of President Assad's forces.
Not the first child in this situation.
The passion of this community was needed more than ever. In 2015, we watched on in horror as the refugee crisis became overwhelming. Millions were fleeing the war in Syria, and those that made it across the border were lucky to escape with their lives. We travelled to Jordan to meet with people living in the refugee camps there and to see what we could do to support them. So we're just on our way to Fatima's house. She's going to show us how to cook the rations that are in the food distribution pack. I met a woman today called Fatima who had to flee to Jordan to keep her family safe. It's just amazing that someone can go through so much, yet still be strong and still help others. It meant so much to Syrian families to know that there were people on the other side of the world standing with them. Over the space of this week, 2,500 kits will go out. A week ago, we got to ring our local partner and tell them how incredible the fundraising efforts were done by Ration Challenge participants. And because of that, this is all happening.
لأنكم شاعرين فينا وحاسين في ألمنا وبشكر كثير أنا الشعب الأسترالي لأني عم بعاني نفس المعاناة اللي نحن عم نعانيها.
Since that first year, more and more people have joined the community. We could never have imagined that what started out as a group of friends eating rations for a week would have grown into 35,000 people inspired to take the challenge and raise nearly $10 million.
I know that our team alone have raised over $6,000, which will help to feed full families for months on end.
I've seen firsthand how this movement is really changing people's lives. Food rations mean that mothers and fathers can feed their children, kids have the resources they need to go to school and get an education, and families are able to go and see a doctor and get the medical care that they need. We've watched as this community has started thousands of important conversations, which is really helping to change people's attitudes towards refugees.
I like to inspire my friends and people around me.
Conversations I've had with people throughout the week have been really amazing.
It actually makes you feel good and connect that, yes, I am making a difference to the world.
It's really humbling to see what the Ration Challenge community has achieved.
But together we believe we can and we must do more. We believe we have to change the way that people in Australia and around the world are treating refugees. We believe if enough of us come together and influence the attitudes of people around us, together we can create that change. And we believe that there will come a time where people don't turn their backs but open their arms to refugees.
And we think you believe that too. We know that lasting change takes time, so we're building a movement committed to taking action and giving generously month in and month out.
By giving every month, you'll be changing lives and changing attitudes. I've committed to giving $60 every month. Some of you will be able to give more and some less. But whatever you can give, collectively the impact we make will be life-changing.
It makes me very hopeful to be a part of such a big movement around Australia that is genuinely making really impactful change.
People are looking to make a difference. They care about this issue and we want to see real change in our lifetime. And together with your help, we will.